I'm going to be showing you the on-screen things on here and doing some flights and explaining a little bit. As you see on the lower left, I have an attitude meter. It shows me the wind is coming from one side of the drone there and blowing it. The drone tilts so it can maintain straight. I'm getting a strong wind warning. So when that happens, I found it best to lower your altitude, but watch those trees. 114 feet high, 1800, 1900 feet away, and we're starting to get jittery here because I'm losing remote control signal. That's because I'm in a city. If I was outside of the city, wouldn't be losing that signal. Unfortunately, I have to gain altitude to recover the signal or get closer. There's a wheel on the top left of the controller underneath it a little bit where I can tilt the camera up and down, and there we go. Also, on with that, on the bottom, we're moving from left to right. We've covered miles per hour up and down, speed up and down. So if I go up, it tells me I'm ascending at a rate of 11 miles per hour, 12 miles per hour. Okay, and descending. See, I'm getting a strong wind warning up there. I'm descending back down. 150 feet pretty much clears just about everything around here. So back down, moving the camera up as we drop. Okay, now 134 feet seem to be plenty for this area. Moving to the right, storage. There's an SD card in the drone. You can see that I have a lot of room on it. And, oop, wait, nope. No, I don't want it to return to home. Oop, signal lost, disconnected from aircraft. Well, it's interesting that this happens right now. Now you see that because I lost connection, I was talking to you guys and it's distracting. I did not notice the bars drop. On the top right you'll see RC and there's like cell phone bars. That's actually the signal from the remote controller. Now I'm going to cancel that return to home. There we go. And go ahead and move on. So there, over there by that water tower is where I'm at. So let's turn back around and look over there. Okay. We have the resolution back down to the bottom of the screen on the right. 4K, 60 frames per second. So that's pretty good. It seems to work great. I set the camera to auto because on this particular drone, auto works well. On some drones, you want to adjust the shutter speed and a whole bunch of other things. On the camera on this drone, it just does great without you doing that. Now, when it hit return to home, it automatically ascended to a there we go. My RC signal's dropping. I'm taking a few steps towards the drone. And gaining
obstacle sensing unavailable. Fly with caution.
Returning to home. Okay, I'm
going
to cancel return to home again. We seem to be getting a lot of interference today. We don't normally get. So let's turn back around. You see the RC signal's good. I'm having trouble keeping it good because I can't maintain altitude because of the high wind notifications. Always watch your tailwind. You might not be able to make it home if you're flying into the wind. That's 25 miles an hour with a drone that has a maximum speed of about 35 miles an hour. So moving forward again, let's go bound to the bottom left of the screen. You see the attitude meter. You see it kicking left and right a little bit. You see the red dot? That's the drone picking up a bird or something nearby. It kind of lets you know. Now if I tap the bottom right of that, there we go. There's a map and it tells me where I'm at. So on the map, if I know the town, that's great, but in this wind I like to use the attitude meter. If it wasn't for the wind, I would stick with the map, but let's get back to the attitude meter. Okay, so normally I can make it over here there's a roundabout, to that roundabout without a problem. We are on the watching our RC signal, gaining there a couple feet of height. Made a big difference, just a little bit there did. So Yes. Moving right along. You see the roundabout about in the center of the screen. Right there. Put it in the center. There we go. My RC signal is kind of sketchy, but I'm maintaining height. I do have to watch that wind. It's really kicking from the one side. You see it tilting the drone on the attitude meter. This is pretty neat. This is the roundabout. See, I lost signal dropping down like that. Again, here we go, back up. I raise altitude, get away from the signal interference things, which is probably all those lights, or all those, street lights and the wiring and the cars. But that's our roundabout. That is Highway 60 headed straight up towards Phoenix. And then to the left is Highway 93 headed towards Las Vegas. Used to be you had to go straight through town to go that way, but then back to that roundabout. Let's see. This street that goes to the right, that is Highway 60 also. That goes to California. It's a couple hundred miles to Blythe, I believe. And anyway, that's pretty much it. You see the satellite on the top right as well. That is a 25 connected to 25 satellites. That's great. You don't want to fly with less than, say, 19 would be safe, at 19 and up. Then you see moving to the left of that, you see the flashing signal. That is obstacle avoidance. It's flashing because I am in third gear, which is called sport mode. It's really fast, and I leave it in that mode when there's high wind. It does use a little more battery, but yeah, sport mode it turns obstacle avoidance off. That's why that's flashing. To the left of that, we've explained the remote control signal. And then to the left of that, we have 49% battery, approximately 12 minutes and 33 seconds left on the battery. Okay, to the left of that is my logo. So, yeah, anyway, that kind of explains the screen. Unless you want to talk about the camera on the right, let's not get into that because that can be complex. But like I say, with this drone, I don't have to do much. It's just awesome. If I push a button on the top, just slightly under the top right of the controller, it'll start recording like this. And yeah, I like that. That's pretty interesting. Usually catches really good video. Now, I'm going to tell the drone to automatically return to home and see what happens. Now, as I say, when you hit return to home, it ascends to a given altitude. Now, I got the altitude set at about 150 feet-ish, somewhere in there. We'll see what it ascends to, and that'll let you know. But that is so that it can get over a nearby water tower. So you see the screen, I'm going to tap. If I hit land, it's going to land right where it's at. We don't want that. I don't want to have to go get it way over there. So let's hit return to home, and you will watch the action of the drone. It will spin around and point toward home.
Obstacle sensing unavailable.
Yes,
Fly with caution.
Again, it's going to
Return to home.
not have obstacle avoidance. Beautiful sunset tonight. You see why I post so many pictures of that. It is just awesome. Okay. Auto returning to home. Well, I'm looking at my speed. I'm doing a lousy 2 miles an hour. 2.5. Strong wind. Okay, so I'm going to cancel return to home. Now, if I left it on, it would have returned to home. I'll tell you why I canceled it in a second. It would have returned to home, but it would have done that and landed within, oh, say 5 feet of where we're standing. Sometimes it hits right on. It lands directly where we're standing, or where it took off from, which is great. So let's go ahead and fly towards home. Now, like I say, I had the camera set to automatic, and that is just awesome. I'm going to tilt it down, and you'll see the camera change a little bit so you can see more of what's down there. There's our Bash's grocery store, and over here's that water tower. Again, I'm flying home manually. I'm not using return to home because I have the altitude set at about 150 to 160 feet. And it's too windy up there. I was doing a lousy 2 miles an hour fighting the wind, dropping altitude can drastically make a difference in the wind resistance against your drone if you're flying into the wind. Okay, so we're just about home. You see the red line on the top of the screen? That is obstacle avoidance. It is sensing that we're approaching something that is above the altitude that the drone is flying at. So let's go ahead and raise up and get over that water tower. There we go. Don't try this at home. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead and try that at home. And I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing. I'm looking at the compass down below. Let's go ahead and point the drone at the H, which the H is home. Orientation. So there we go. We just got new windows put in the house not too long ago. That's why there's no paint around the windows. But there it is. Now that I'm closer to home, I'm going to go ahead and put it in first gear, which is called, whoops, I tapped the function button on the remote. That causes the camera to immediately look straight down. So there, let's get it back to where it was. Like I said, let's go back to first gear. They call that cinematic mode or normal mode. So that's slow speed. Because now that I'm getting closer to the landing point, I want to slow down. So let's go ahead over here. And folks, there's my house, my truck, my wife's car under a tree. And I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording now and land on my front porch. I will talk to you guys later. I hope you enjoyed the video and learned a little bit more about drones.